Well, it is now coming out through the media, not only in thoroughbred racing, but is now coming out in the market of Los Angeles, because Hollywood Park has been a dominant part of the sports landscape and the entertainment industry here in Los Angeles. And times are changing with a partnership now with Betfair, so much so that this historic venue will now be known as Betfair Hollywood Park. But that's only one part of the agreement that was announced yesterday. We want you to stick around here after the 6th at Hawthorne. We're going to take a short commercial break after this race. And joining us on the set in the TVG studios will be the president of Hollywood Park and the Racing Association. Jack Liebau will be here to talk about the announcement that occurred yesterday and what this agreement means for the future of this amazing racetrack, and now this phenomenal partnership that has gone on for well over a decade between Betfair, TVG, and Hollywood Park. But right now, live racing action from Illinois. The partnership was officially announced yesterday. Now the details are coming out, and the industry is talking about Betfair going to Hollywood Park. Historic Hollywood Park, where they have been racing for nearly 75 years, will now be known as Betfair Hollywood Park. It is the first time that a racing venue has had a naming rights deal, but that is just part of the deal. Welcome back to Racing Coast to Coast from our TVG studios in Los Angeles. I'm Todd Schrupp with Simon Bray, but as promised, joining us from the Hollywood Park Racing Association, President Jack Liebau here in the studios. Hey, partner.
Hi.
How you doing, partner?
Betfair Hollywood Park. Why now? Why did this agreement come together?
Well, I think, first of all, Hollywood Park is certainly honored to join with a company of Betfair's reputation and renown. I mean, there's no question about that. We both hopefully are leaders in our respective industries. And I think it all dates back to our being Hollywood Park's long and beneficial relationship with TVG. I mean, I think that Hollywood and TVG goes back to the very beginning of TVG, and I will say without doubt that a large part of Hollywood's success has been based upon our relationship with TVG. And hopefully it's been a mutual one, so I think this was just a natural transgression to Betfair.
Does this give some security going forward? Because every year we come to this point where Hollywood Park, is it going to be around, is it not? It was in the press release, a 5-year deal, pending the dates issued by the California Horse Racing Board, but players can look forward to maybe a future here at Hollywood Park, for at least the foreseeable future anyway.
Well, this is always a problem for Hollywood Park. The ownership of Hollywood Park has always instructed the operators, such as the Hollywood Park Racing Association, to run the facility as though racing would be there indefinite. But really the bottom line is, as is the case with any dates that are allocated to California racetracks, they don't belong to the racetrack. They are given and allocated by the California Horse Racing Board. So, we're really in the hands of the Horse Racing Board. I think that I don't understand why some people think that it's necessary for there to be a certain commitment made that Hollywood will be there for a given number of years or whatever, because the bottom line is that under present circumstances, certainly Southern California racing is better off with Hollywood Park being opened, not just as a live racing venue, but right now today with Santa Anita operating, we have close to 1,200 horses on our backside, and I have no idea where those horses would be if Hollywood Park didn't exist.
Well, I think that's the key to this whole thing, because there are tracks who don't have to constantly be questioned about their future, that make a lot of promises and nothing ever comes of it. But with Hollywood Park, you were the first to put the synthetic track in. Once the mandate came in, you spent the money and put it in. And when you take a look at a deal like this, this is very real, what's happening now with this sponsorship deal with our parent company, Betfair. Not only the naming of the racetrack, but the creation of innovations there, like the Betfair Lounge, the Betfair Club, updating the graphics. TVG is now going to have an imprint on your simulcast signal as well. This is more than just a naming sponsorship, and further demonstration that, look, you can talk all you want about is Hollywood Park going to be here, but you're doing things that show very tangible results.
Well, I also think I would point out, and I don't think anybody would dispute it, that Hollywood Park has the best backside in California. There's just no question about that. I mean, our backside is up to standards. We don't have any problem with the Clean Water Act, as do other tracks, and that investment has already been made at Hollywood Park. I think one thing that should be clarified is that with respect to the terms of the arrangement, which I don't really want to get into as far as details are concerned, but you know, in most naming rights transactions between stadiums and the sponsor, there's consideration that goes to the facility.
You're talking about money?
Money. Yeah. In this instance, the only consideration that Hollywood is getting, which has been at my insistence, is investments that are going to be made in marketing and physical improvements. And we think it's very necessary for that to be the way it is because of our obligation to our fans and our continuing obligation, you know, to California racing.
Okay, so this is not, you're getting capital for this and it's just going to go towards the bottom line. This is actually going back to improving the facility and with this marketing initiative to attract younger fans.
And with respect to the marketing initiative, I mean, we are lucky to be able to derive these efforts from Betfair TVG because of their expertise in, you know, whether it's electronic media, social media, or all of those things that I really don't understand and have to admit that, you know, most racetracks do not have the expertise in that Betfair TVG have.
And Simon, at Ascot, Betfair has had a great relationship there, and that was almost the proving ground for essentially what we're going to see here at Hollywood Park.
Yeah, I had the pleasure, Jack. I don't know whether you made it. You were at Ascot a couple of years ago. No, we were there. I actually went to the Betfair Lounge during Royal Ascot Week, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And this is what's going to be installed at Hollywood Park along with the Betfair Club. So there's so much to look forward to, and I think it's been well received within the industry.
I also think it's important for people to realize that an ADW provider like TVG has a very real interest in building the on-track attendance. And that is what, you know, is the goal here, because we have to continue to regenerate our fan base, whether it's the same fan base for an on-track, you know, like Hollywood Park as it is for an ADW provider. And it's very difficult, if not impossible, for anybody to become a racing fan without first having that on-track experience. And that's why this agreement is aimed at increasing and enhancing the on-track experience of people going to Hollywood Park.
Jack, going back to what you said at the top, it is a symbiotic relationship. We appreciate you making such kind comments about what TVG has meant to Hollywood Park, but there is very little doubt we would not exist as a company without the support from Hollywood Park, even before the ADW legislation came to be a reality. So that's a partnership that goes back nearly 15 years now. It is insured for at least the next 5 years and beyond in a way that it truly can now be measured. It is now Betfair Hollywood Park. Partner, good to have you.
Good to have you.
Thanks very much, Jack.
You're welcome.
Jack Liebau, president of the Hollywood Park Racing Association, joining us with historic news coming out yesterday. We'll be back with more Racing Coast to Coast.